Listen, I have been observing humans for approximately 6 standard cycles now, and I thought I'd seen everything. Wars, peace treaties, their bizarre obsession with fermented beverages. But nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, prepared me for what happened in Sector 7 educational facility on the third moon of Rigel Prime. Commander Vorith, that pompous windbag, strutted into Professor Elena Voss's classroom like he owned the entire galaxy. Which, technically, he kind of did. The Kryn Empire had conquered 47 systems in the past decade alone. And humans? Well, they were just another check mark on his list. Another flag to plant. Another species to subjugate. You have to understand something about Vorith. This guy wore 17 medals on his chest plate, each one representing a world he had helped conquer. He polished them every morning. I watched him do it once through a surveillance feed, and honestly, it was disturbing. The way he smiled at his own reflection made my secondary stomach turn. So there he was, standing at the entrance of Elena's classroom, blocking out the light like some kind of armored eclipse. The students, about 25 human younglings between the ages of 15 and 17, went silent. That kind of silence that makes your skin crawl, you know? The kind where everyone stops breathing at the same time. Professor Voss, Vorith's voice boomed through his translator, dripping with what humans call condescension. I am here to ensure your students understand their place in the new order. Elena, bless her defiant little heart, did not even look up from her desk. She was grading papers, can you believe that? A 7-foot-tall alien warlord walks into your classroom, and she is correcting grammar mistakes. The woman had nerves made of whatever that super strong metal humans use in their ship hulls. Class is in session. Commander, she said, her voice calm as morning frost. You will have to wait outside until we finish our lesson on pre-conquest literature. Oh, you should have seen Vorith's face. Well, what I could see of it through his battle helmet. His mandibles twitched, which in Kryn body language means somewhere between insulted and homicidal. His 3 bodyguards shifted their plasma rifles nervously. Even they knew this was about to get interesting. Literature? Vorith laughed, and it sounded like rocks grinding in a disposal unit. What use is human literature when humans no longer control their own destiny? Your culture is dead, Professor. Your flags mean nothing. Your history is being rewritten as we speak. That got her attention. Elena set down her marking stylus, very slowly, very deliberately. She stood up, and even though she barely reached Vorith's chest plate, somehow she seemed taller. Humans have this weird thing where their presence can expand beyond their physical size when they're really, truly angry. Scientists back home are still trying to figure out how they do that. Dead? She repeated, walking around her desk. Commander, you clearly do not understand the first thing about humanity if you think burning our books and replacing our flags makes our culture disappear. The students were watching now, eyes wide, some terrified, others hopeful. This professor, their teacher, was standing up to the alien overlord who had plasma cannons orbiting their planet. Either she was incredibly brave or completely insane. Possibly both. Vorith pulled something from his belt. The classroom's Earth flag, the one that used to hang behind Elena's desk before the Kryn removed all human symbols from public spaces. He held it up like a trophy, like evidence in some cosmic trial. This symbol, he announced, addressing the students now, ignoring Elena entirely, represents a failed civilization. A weak species that could not defend itself. Today, you will watch me burn it, and you will learn that resistance is... Give me that flag, Commander. Elena's voice cut through his speech like a blade through butter. Sharp, clean, unexpected. Vorith actually paused. In 6 cycles of observation, I had never seen him pause mid-speech. He looked down at her, confusion flickering across his alien features. Excuse me? I said, give me that flag. Elena extended her hand, palm up, waiting. If you're going to burn it, let me do it myself. Let my students see their teacher destroy what you claim is already dead. Prove your point, Commander. Now this was not in any tactical manual I had ever studied. The students gasped. One girl in the front row actually said "Professor" no out loud. Voritha's bodyguards exchanged glances that clearly meant what is happening right now in universal soldier body language. But Vorith? Oh, he loved this. His mandibles spread in what passed for a Kryn smile. He thought he had broken her. He thought this was surrender wrapped in defiance, a human finally accepting defeat in the most dramatic way possible. How delightful, he purred, handing her the flag. Please, Professor, show your students how thoroughly you have been conquered. Elena took the flag. She held it for a long moment, running her fingers over the fabric. Some students started crying. Others looked away. This was it, they thought. The moment their last symbol of resistance died. She walked to the center of the classroom, where a small heating element sat on a demonstration table, used for chemistry experiments. She turned it on. The coil began to glow red. And then Elena Voss smiled. Oh, that smile. I have seen stars collapse, black holes form, civilizations crumble. But that smile made me understand why the Kryn Empire should have been very, very afraid of conquering Earth. Students, she said, her voice steady and clear, watch carefully. Today, you learn the difference between a symbol and what it symbolizes. She held the flag over the heating element. The flag caught fire quickly, synthetic fibers melting and curling as flames consumed the blue field and red stripes. Voritha's mandibles spread wider, his victory seemingly complete. The students watched in horror as their teacher burned the last symbol of their independence, exactly as the conqueror had demanded. But Elena? She never stopped smiling. Commander Vorith, she said, her voice rising above the crackling flames, you make the same mistake every empire makes. You think symbols and substance are the same thing. You think by burning a flag, you burn what it represents. She let the burning fabric fall into a metal waste container, where it finished its transformation into ash and smoke. Then she turned to face the entire classroom, Vorith included, and I swear the temperature in that room dropped 5 degrees from the ice in her expression. This flag, she continued, pointing at the smoldering remains, is cloth, polyester and dye. Burning it changes absolutely nothing about who we are, what we believe, or what we will become. My grandfather fought under this flag. My mother taught under it. And yes, I just burned it myself. But Commander, every single person in this room still knows what it meant. And that you cannot burn. One of the students, a boy named Marcus in the third row, sat up straighter. I noticed it through the security feed. Others followed. Something was shifting in that classroom, something that made Voritha's bodyguards grip their rifles tighter. You came here to humiliate me, Elena said, walking closer to Vorith now, fearless. You wanted these children to see their teacher broken, to watch me destroy our heritage with my own hands. You wanted to prove that humanity rolls over, that we accept defeat, that we forget who we were. She stopped directly in front of him, craning her neck to look up at his armored face. Instead, I just taught them the most important lesson they will ever learn. Objects can be destroyed. Buildings can be leveled. Flags can burn. But ideas? Beliefs? The stubborn, irritating, absolutely infuriating human refusal to accept that might makes right? Commander, you cannot kill that with all the plasma cannons in your entire fleet. Voritha's mandibles snapped shut. That is a bad sign in Kryn behavior, by the way. It means the conversation has stopped being amusing. Careful, Professor, he growled. You are very close to treason. Treason? Elena laughed, actually laughed in his face. Against whom? You? Commander, I never swore loyalty to the Kryn Empire. You invaded my world, occupied my city, and claimed authority you never earned. I'm not a traitor. I am simply someone who refuses to pretend that your guns make you legitimate. The silence that followed was absolutely electric. Every student was staring now, not at the burned flag, but at their professor. This small human woman who weighed maybe 1/8 what Vorith did, who had no weapons, no armor, no backup, and yet stood there treating a galactic conqueror like a particularly slow student who had not done his homework. You know what the real difference is between humans and Kryn? Elena asked, not waiting for an answer. When we conquer something, we at least have the decency to learn about it first. You have occupied Earth for 2 years, and you still do not understand the first thing about us. She turned back to her students, dismissing Vorith entirely, which I later learned is one of the most insulting things you can do to a Kryn military commander. Class, pop quiz. What do we learn from the burning of the Library of Alexandria? A girl near the window raised her hand immediately. That destroying knowledge does not destroy what people have already learned, Professor Voss. The ideas survived. Exactly, Keisha. And what about the Inquisition's book burnings? Marcus answered this time, his voice stronger than before. The trying to burn out ideas just makes people hold them tighter. Makes them more determined. Very good. Elena nodid approvingly. And what do we learn from every dictatorship in human history that tried to erase culture, ban language, destroy heritage? This time, the entire class answered in unison, and I'm telling you, the hair on my sensory stalk stood straight up when they did. That it never works. Vorith took a step backward. Just one step, but I caught it. For the first time since entering that classroom, the commander of the Kryn Fifth Fleet took a step back from an unarmed human teacher. You are teaching sedition, he said, but his voice had lost that confident boom. Now it sounded defensive, uncertain. I am teaching history, Elena corrected him. Your empire will be history too, Commander. Maybe not today, maybe not next year, but eventually. They all fall. The Romans, the Mongols, the British Empire, the corporate hegemony of 2089. Every single one thought they would last forever. Every single one was wrong. She walked back to her desk, picked up a piece of chalk, actual ancient chalk that humans still use for some reason, and wrote on the board in large letters. Nothing lasts forever except the human capacity for hope and spite. That is today's lesson, she announced. Commander Vorith was kind enough to provide a practical demonstration. I burned our flag because it is just fabric. The real flag, the real Earth, the real humanity exists in here. She tapped her chest. And here, she pointed to each student in turn. And here, and here, and here. Vorith stood frozen, surrounded by his bodyguards, suddenly looking less like a conquering hero and more like someone who had just stepped into a trap he did not know existed. Class dismissed, Elena said calmly. Except you, Commander. You wanted to teach today? Then sit down. Let me explain exactly why your empire is going to lose, even if it takes 100 years. Even if it takes 1,000. Because that is what humans do. We outlast you. I stopped recording there. Protocol required me to report this incident to my supervisors, but honestly, I deleted the file. Some things you just know are bigger than your job description. 3 months later, the resistance started in that very school. 5 years after that, the Kryn Empire withdrew from Earth entirely, too exhausted from the constant, stubborn, absolutely relentless human refusal to stay conquered. And Elena Voss? She kept teaching, because that is what humans do. They endure. So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.